It's me, Vicky Marie. Happy Thursday. I'm accompanied by Princess Tia. Hope she's going to be quiet today. She's having a little chill out on the chair. Anyway, hope you're all well. First thing I want to say is thank you to everybody, as always. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. Thank you to those of you who've gone that little bit step further and become members of my channel. Thank you to everyone who has bought me a Ko-fi or sent me a super chat or PayPal'd me. I really appreciate all of your support. Thanks for all your emails. Thanks for all your positive messages. And just thank you for sharing your time with me. Okay, so let's get rid of the banner. Oh, hang on, no, doing it wrong. So today we're going to talk about Madeleine Soto. Madeleine, of course, is someone that we've spoken about before many times, and we'll carry on talking about certainly until the case is resolved and Stefan Stearns has been found guilty. That because he has allegedly, we still have to say allegedly, I suppose, murdered poor Madeleine. Madeleine was only 13 years old. I'm going to just show you a photo of her. So this is Madeleine with her little dog, Madeleine Soto. She was 13 years old when she went missing, and then later, subsequently, was found deceased. Her stepfather, for those of you who don't know the story, just a very brief history of the story. She had been her 13th birthday on the Sunday. Her stepfather said he'd taken her to school on the Monday morning, but when her mother went to pick her up, Jen Soto, later that evening, this of course is a horrible stepfather. I won't leave him up for very long. The sinister Stefan Stearns. And this is her mother. This is them in happier times. Well, they weren't really happier times, because we now know that probably just, right from when Madeleine was 8 years old, Stefan Stearns was abusing her. So it looks like a happy family photograph, but actually it wasn't really. Or all these things were already going on behind the scenes at home, weren't they? Madeleine was being very severely abused. And Stefan had kept a record of it all on his telephone. So after the reported Maddie missing, the police interviewed Stefan, if you can call him a stepfather. He and Jen weren't married, but he called himself her stepfather. So they were interviewed, his telephone was taken off him, and many, many, many photos and videos, compromising photos and videos of Madeleine were found on that phone. And despite him having accidentally factory reset it, according to him, and Stefan was arrested and charged with 60 counts of various sort of aggravated battery, sexual battery, etc., against a minor. So that was the first thing that happened. Then a couple of days later, Madeleine's body was found. She was unfortunately deceased, just found discarded by the side of the road. And quite a while after that, took quite a while, Stefan was finally charged also with murder. Now, up to now, there are no charges against Jen, the mother. A lot of people think she was involved in some way. I personally don't think she was involved, but apart from just that she's stupid, that's her crime, I think, just being totally oblivious to it all. But anyway, time will tell. Maybe charges will result eventually. It's early days yet. So Stefan now has been charged with both then, the 60 counts of sexual battery, also the murder of Madeleine Soto. And the reason that I'm making this video, or part of the reason for doing this video, is there's just been a big document released, I think from Stefan's lawyer, outlining, giving more information, because we're in the disclosure stage of the trial. In other words, the prosecution has to start saying what evidence they've got against Stefan, so that the defence can prepare the defence. And as this happens, that's when things come more into the public eye, and we'll get to learn a lot more details, if you like, of what happened to poor Madeleine. Sometime in between her celebrating her 13th birthday and the following morning, when she was supposed to go to school, this man killed her, allegedly. Okay, and the other thing I want to look at today, before I say hello to everyone, because I'm going to come and say hello to everyone, is another case that somebody sent me. I have sort of seen it in the periphery. Another young girl that's gone missing. So this is Maria Gomez Perez. She is 12 years old, and she is currently being searched for. So I'm going to talk about her first before we talk about Madeleine, just to give you an outline of what's happening here. She's still missing. She's 12 years old. She's missing from Gainesville in America. And it seems to be, you know, kids go missing, of course, they go missing quite often, don't they? And often they turn up for, you know, whatever reason. Maria has not turned up, but I want to look at her case briefly, and if this unfortunate situation carries on, we will, of course, follow this case as well. But I'm going to say hello to you all first. Let's see. Oh, so hi, Annie. Oh, and Annie has upgraded her membership. She's not a new member. She's been a member of my channel for a while, but she's upgraded her membership from Let's Chat to Carry On Chatting. So thank you, Annie, for that. I really appreciate that. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Caroline. Hi, David. Hi, Ninja. Of course, it's night time for a few of these people in the chat. For me here in Spain, I should have said, shouldn't I? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Here in Spain, it's 24 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. But I know for a lot of you watching, it's evening time. Hi, Gillian. It does, Annie. It does. All these smiles, you know, whenever you do a true crime case, really, you see all these photos with smiles, don't you? Micah was the same, because people don't take, you know, when people are having their photos taken, whether it be a selfie or somebody else taking it, this looks like a school picture of Maria Gomez Perez. Not that I'm saying anything is going on at her home. I don't know enough about this case yet, but you just don't know. Just because somebody's there happy and smiling doesn't mean to say that they're happy and smiling in their normal life, is it? Hi, Anne. Hi, Karen from Corfu. Oh, expect it's hot there, is it? It's not hot here. It's not hot because we've had lots of rain. It's not raining today, but it has been raining, you know, quite bad. Anyway, just take that off. So thank you, and hello to everyone who's watching at home. I know there's a lot more people watching at home. Not everybody likes to join in the chat. I know that. So hello to you, and thanks for watching. And don't forget to press the like button. Now, let's just have a look briefly at this case. So I'll leave the photo up there, I think, so that you can have a look at it, because we need to get familiar with her. Because this is the first time I've looked at this case. But let me read to you what's happened. Gosh, so there's quite a big reward out for her. The reward is $30,000 for any news that leads to her being found. Now, what I find really quite strange is there is no Amber Alerts, only a be on the lookout. And the area that Maria's gone missing from, they don't have Amber Alerts, but they have something called a Levi's call, which is apparently Georgia's version of Amber Alert, but it has not been activated in her case, even though she's only 12 years old. And I'm reading this off Reddit. People have been talking about it on Reddit. According to law enforcement, this is because they do not think she was abducted against her will or in immediate danger of bodily harm, and there is not enough information about a potential abductor. However, they haven't said what they think did happen. Having said that, I think the police are now saying that they do think she's in danger. Because, it says investigators do believe that Maria is in danger and she may have come in contact with someone else and left her home with them, but they still do not have any description of that person if they exist. They've been searching the area, including a nearby lake and Maria's house as well, for clues. They also said that Maria's estranged mother probably lives in Guatemala, and they are trying to contact her to see if she had any involvement or knows anything about what happens. And on this particular Reddit sort of group that I'm reading from, people are quite angry that there hasn't been, that Levi's call hasn't been activated, which of course is the equivalent of an Amber Alert, because what happens when that's activated is they get more help, don't they, from more law enforcement agencies, etc., and it becomes more urgent. And what they're saying on this particular because the group that I'm reading this from is missing people of colour. It's called Missing BIPOC, a community to create awareness about cases of missing, murdered, or unidentified Black, Indigenous, and people of colour. Because, of course, there's a lot of complaints about this, missing white women syndrome. If it's some sort of blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid, they get all the attention, or not only children, but women who go missing, etc. They get all the attention in the media, etc. But if it's someone of an ethnic minority, they don't get so much attention. And, I do think there's a truth in that. I do think there is a truth in that. So, is that why they haven't activated the Levi's call, or is it because initially they did think there was no, there was nothing sinister about her disappearance in the sense of that she'd been taken away with anybody? Hi, Chumba. I hope I haven't missed anybody else. So let's just have a look at what the police have got to say. I'm going to take this picture of her off. So this is Maria Perez Gomez. Let's see what the police have got to say. I had some. Let's have a look at the updates. Now, I haven't looked into this case at all yet. This is the first time that I've talked about it or looked really properly at it. So we're sort of learning things together here about this little girl. But it just seems to me if she's 12 years old, it does seem surprising that they haven't activated that alert, doesn't it? Let me just have a look, see. So they're saying now they think she is in danger. Let's have a look at what Fox News got to say.
Girl from the desperate search for a missing girl from Hall County. Maria Gomez Perez is only 12 years old, last seen on May 29th.
Right now, authorities are offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to her safe return. Fox 5's Christopher King is live at the Hall County Sheriff's Department with the latest. Christopher?
Courtney, Russ, Maria Gomez Perez has been missing nearly 2 weeks. Now, the sheriff does not believe she was kidnapped, but he does believe she is at great risk.
I mean, she's a child, and to be gone that long, that's a serious issue.
The big mystery, where is Maria Gomez Perez?
There's so many possibilities where she could be and what could have happened to her.
Maria is 12 years old. She was last seen on May 29th at her home on West Side Drive in Gainesville.
Well, she's 12 years old, and she's been gone a week and a half.
Her family has not heard from her since.
I do consider her endangered, very much so.
Hall County Sheriff Gerald Couch says his office has enlisted the help of federal Homeland Security, the FBI, GBI, and Gainesville Police. Dozens of investigators are looking at every and any possibility.
She may have come in contact with someone that she did make contact with to leave that day from her house.
Investigators have deployed canines, put up digital billboards and traffic signs with Maria's description, and searched Lake Lanier. Neighbors have canvassed their community, but so far, no sign of Maria.
Someone out in the community has that one bit of information that is valuable to us, but they need to come forward. And that could be the key to breaking this case wide open.
Again, Maria Gomez Perez is 12 years old. She's 5'3". She weighs about 110 pounds, has dark hair and brown eyes. Call the Hall County Sheriff's Office if you have any information on her whereabouts. There is a $20,000 award for her safe return.
So it's more than that now. It's 30,000, the reward now. So yeah, that we're going to be following this case, and we'll see what transpires. You know, is it, I know they're looking to Guatemala because that's where her mother lives. Is it a question that, you know, is this like to do with custody, or has she been sort of catfished and lured away? Reminds me a bit of sort of Sebastian Rogers type thing, though, because apparently she was last seen at home that morning and she's just disappeared into thin air. And as we know, people don't, and certainly 12-year-olds do not disappear into thin air. So where is Maria?
Live at the Hall County Sheriff's Department, Christopher King, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some answers and track down that young girl. Christopher, thanks.
You know, it's always worrying when a 12-year-old, sorry, let me take that off. It's always worrying when a 12-year-old goes missing, and especially after a couple of weeks. You know, it's not likely that she's just run off on her own, is it? So let's hope whoever she's with, they've not got any evil intentions towards her. You know, probably would be better that she is with her mum if you know, it's better than her being with a stranger, I suppose. But anyway, I need to look into that case properly, and we will look at it again, and I'll get more information for the next time that we talk about it. There's always new cases, isn't there? You know, those cases we're waiting for to be resolved. I mean, in many ways, Madeleine's case that we're going to look at now is resolved because Madeleine's body has at least been recovered. Her stepfather is charged with her murder and various other offences. No charges against her mother yet. Whether her mother will end up being charged or not, we still don't know. Now, what's happened is this new document has been released. That it's a 900 and something page document with more details about what happened to Madeleine. Now, I've been trying to get hold of this document. I haven't been able to get it yet, but I'm hoping that I will be able to get hold of it. I don't know. I haven't been able to get, because where you can get it sort of just, you know, it was like a PDF online. I couldn't access it. I need to get my VPN sorted out again to do that, I suppose. Anyway, I have been in touch with another YouTuber who does have the document, and they've, it costs them, according to them, it cost them quite a lot of money to buy it, $380. They said they paid for it. And but he said that I could have it for $50. So I want to show you, you know, I'm going to show you his channel. Well, I think it's a man. I'm sure it's a man because he's called Eric. So I suppose he will be a man. I'm going to show you his channel. because it looks a very interesting channel. And there might be things on there that you want to see. You know, it's important to support other creators as well. Let's see. Right, well, I can't find it now. I was just looking at it before. Oops, don't want that. Sorry, I'm putting some windows down because I've got too many windows up as usual, which means I can't find the blooming channel. So, where is it? Oh, I know. I'm looking for the wrong name. Just can't believe that I found this channel earlier without any problem, and now I'm having a problem finding it, which is really odd. There it is. That's his. Can find his X account. I can. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to show you this channel. It's called The Docket. He's good at getting documents, papers that are relevant to crimes, etc. Yeah, it was The Docket, Ninja. Do you have a copy of it? Did you manage to get a copy of it? So I am trying to get a copy of it. Obviously, if I can get a copy of it for free, it'd be better. But it's $50 is not a bad price, I suppose, for it. So I want you to let me know if you think it's something you'd be interested in going through, because it's nearly 1,000 pages. So, you know, we can go through it gradually. It seems quite interesting. But anyway, this is The Docket. I've subscribed to him. And yeah, it talks about crime, etc. But apparently it says, welcome to The Docket. I obtain official court documents, purchase case files, cover trials, and just about anything true crime related. So, you know, if you think that'd be interesting, go over and give him a subscribe. And these are his current cases of interest. Chad and Laurie Vallow Daybell, Brandon Boudreaux. That Brandon is related to that trial, isn't it? Sarah Boone. This is a case we haven't looked at yet. But Sarah Boone is the woman that locked her partner inside a suitcase and just ignored his pleas for help, filmed it, and she's on trial at the moment. So we will be looking at her. I don't know Corey Richards or Billy Wagner, but Brian Walsh, he killed his wife, Anna, allegedly, or has he been found guilty yet? But Richard Allen, of course, is the Delphi murderer. The two young girls, their trial will be coming up soon. Chad Doerman, I feel like I know who he is, but I can't place him, and the Adelsons. So I think it's an interesting channel. It looks like an interesting channel. So yeah, get over there and give him a subscribe. And he does, there is a video up here already. He's been releasing bits and pieces. Oh no, there's not a video up here yet about it, I don't think. He's been releasing bits and pieces on his Twitter account, which are very illuminating. But anyway, some people seem to have this document, obviously court TV, etc. You know, hi Laurie. I'm not sure when Alan is in court next. It just seems to, you know, that Richard Allen from the Delphi case, it just seems to be quite often it comes up on my Twitter account that things are going on, but nothing ever, it seems to have been ages since anything really proper happened with him. So I don't know is the answer to that, but when again there's more details, etc., I'll let you all know. So we're going to court TV because I haven't got the actual document. Hopefully I will have the document eventually. Maybe I should do a little GoFundMe for $50 so that we can buy it. But you know, the other thing I do want to know from the you chat as chatters is it something you're actually interested in seeing? Because then it's what, you know, in me going through the document, obviously bit by bit, because it's a long document, you can't, or I could just go through the highlights. I like to go through the whole thing, like with the College of Policing report with Nicola Bulley, but do it in installments, because things, you know, come up sometimes that are important. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, Grizzly True Crime has it. Maybe I should ask her. I thought she might publish it. Everyone's sort of hanging on to it, but probably because it costs them so much money. Because often when these documents come out, you know, they're published for anyone to sort of have a look at or use. But I notice it's not actually on. It's not on Grizzly's. You know, it's not there as a document. She's gone through it, and of course you can go onto Grizzly's channel, Gisella's channel, and watch her going through it. But you know, I know a lot of you would probably prefer that it was me going through it. No offense to Gisella, because her you know, her chatters, they'll probably like her going through it. You know, we all have our favourites, don't we? Anyway, so where I'm going then instead is I'm going to Court TV, and Vinnie Politan, he seems to have it. So he's been talking about it quite a lot. So yeah, let's have a look what he's got to say. So let's see what they've got to say on Court TV. Now, on Court TV, just over the last couple of days, this is where they although the forensic report is not out, it seems to be that from the sources that Vinnie Politan's got, that they're saying that Madeleine Soto was strangled to death. But this is not official, by the way, by the police. This is what they're saying on Court TV. I would not imagine they would be saying it unless they were pretty certain. Having said that, when I was watching some videos earlier this morning to sort of, you know, do a bit of research, they did say on Court TV not long ago that she had blunt force trauma. So, you know, she can't have died of both, but of course, both couldn't have been the cause of death, but that doesn't mean to say that she couldn't have been strangled and then, you know, blunt force trauma, or the other way around. But let's basically, I think we can gather that what has happened to Madeleine is horrible. And it seems that it happened sometime after the birthday party and before the morning. So sometime overnight, this happened. What caused it? Did Stefan lose his temper? Did Madeleine say no for maybe the first time because now she's 13 years old and she's decided she's not putting up with his shit anymore? You know, this is what will come out in court, I suppose. So let's see what Vinny's got to say.
Closing arguments to understand what happened to Madeleine Soto, the life that she lived, the hand that she was dealt, will break your heart, absolutely break your heart. Here she is putting on a smile, one of her last day on earth. It's her 13th birthday party. And what we've learned since, allegations that she had been sexually abused for years by a man that was put into her life by her own mother, her mother's boyfriend, this man, Stefan Stearns, and his ultra Photoshop filtered picture over there next to Madeleine. He's been charged with sexually abusing her. He's been charged with her murder. And now he's been charged or will be facing the death penalty for that murder. I want to put up on the screen what was filed in part by the state of Florida as they are seeking the death penalty. They believe that there are sufficient aggravating circumstances to justify the imposition of the death penalty.
So remember, we looked at that. We saw these papers. You can get quite. I showed these on a previous stream. They're seeking the death penalty, and something else that I found out. You know, in Florida now, you don't even need a majority for the death penalty. Sorry, you don't need unanimity for the death penalty anymore. So it used to be that for the death penalty to be implemented, the jury had to be unanimous. Not anymore, just has to be a majority. So it's looking more and more likely for Stephen Stearns. He's going to get the death penalty. Because the thing is, he's got nothing to bargain with. He's got nothing to bargain. The only thing he's got to bargain with is to plead guilty on all charges and avoid a trial, putting everyone through a trial, because he can't, he's not got the body. You know, the body has been found. They've got all these pictures and videos on his phone. I expect they've got lots of other evidence, you know, from actual Madeleine's body, you know, maybe DNA, maybe even he filmed it, because you know, some of the things that they say here makes you wonder, because they're requesting the death penalty because it fits in. Remember, we looked at the 4 criteria for the death penalty, and you'll see them here. I'll put my email in, Ninja, and see if we can maybe between us we can track
the
it
state
down.
will be requesting the death penalty should the defendant be convicted in this case. And the aggravating factors that they are citing: the defendant was previously convicted of another felony. There, I believe they're referring to the sexual abuse allegations and all those images that were found on his phone. That trial will happen first. Capital felony was committed during the commission of aggravated child abuse. What does that tell us? The capital felony was especially heinous.
Yeah. So it actually says on the death penalty, you know, the court document says they're going to seek the death penalty, that the felony was committed during the child abuse. You know, so this just makes you think, has he killed this little girl, you know, while at the same time abusing her? I mean, do you know, if he makes it to trial, he'll be lucky, because anyone who can get hold of him, they're going to get hold of him and do something to him. You sort of almost hope so, don't you? It's hard to, you know, it's hard to find any redeeming features for this guy. It's impossible, in fact. I don't believe in the death penalty, but I feel that if anybody ever deserved the death penalty, is this guy. What he's done to this girl, and she was still smiling right up to her birthday. What a twonk.
Atrocious or cruel. What does that tell us about what happened to Madeleine? And the victim was particularly vulnerable due to her age, or the defendant stood in a position of familial custodial authority. He held himself out as her stepfather. Words out of his mouth and out of Madeleine's mother's mouth that can now be used against him as an aggravating factor towards the death penalty in this case. So who is this guy? What do we know about him? We don't know a ton, but we've heard him speak in several different contexts. So let's take a moment to listen to the words of the accused child killer, child sex abuser, now facing the death penalty, Stephen Stearns.
She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here. She just...
Yeah, here's the fake tears. She was happy we were all together here. Oh, she was happy. She was happy. She was not happy. And you know what? This horrible twonk just, oh my God. His whiny voice. He is a wimp. He's only capable of sort of exerting power over an 8-year-old girl. I really wondered, had Madeleine decided she's not putting up with this shit anymore from this wimp man baby? Just the way he talks, the whinging, pretending to cry. Oh my God. You know, well, I'll tell you what, that won't get him very far in prison. So that's if they let him out into the general population, of course.
Very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer.
She's so very sweet. Oh.
Looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day.
Our detectives have determined that Madeleine was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time.
We don't know where she can be, and we're scared. We just want her home. Just not knowing.
All the time he's talking, he's shaking his head. I mean, you know, I'm not a big believer in body language, to be honest. I think you can get a feeling off somebody, but, you know, body language experts and things, often you're looking at things after the event, aren't you? So it's easy, you know, once you know somebody's lying, it's easy to spot the signs of lying. But I've got to say, he is like the classic shaking his head no while he's saying something. And to me, what would tell me he was lying is the fact, well, he's not looking at the camera for a start, or even at the guy or woman who's interviewing him. He's looking down, and away he's thinking about something completely different. And remember, he kept pulling this hat down. I wonder if he had a scratch.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down.
We have video evidence that shows Stephen Stearns discarding items in a dumpster. Detectives later recovered Madeleine's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster.
We could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road, and that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to go find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen. But it's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her. I said, okay. Let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. I can't remember the exact spot, but it was around where these communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were. Okay. And it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there. Where's the school? Just on the other side of the overpass. 2105. So somewhere around here. So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one possibly is right in this stretch. We just came down and we drove about halfway down. She was like, that's good right here. Well, I was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack. She was looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for him.
Still think that Jen's face here, it's like something's dawning on her. Honestly, I do. That's my opinion, but I know not everybody agrees. But it just feels to me, Jen there just looked like, you know, like when you just suddenly everything's dawning on you, and she's thinking, oh my God, that's how it struck me anyway.
Before she kind of walking on. Yeah. But she was just kind of, you know, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
Don't know why they don't do that. You know, why don't they just kind of like at least give you a blanket, you know?
My core temperature was down.
Oh, this was when he was whinging in the back of the police car. My core temperature was down. Oh, poor Stefan. Diddums. God, our hearts broke for him. Well, I was nearly as upset about Stephen Stearns' core temperature being down. I was nearly as upset as I was about Rishi Sunak not having Sky News or Sky TV when he was a child. Honest to God, I could hardly get through the day. Oh, God, what a whingy. Oh, my God, so selfish, narcissistic, all about him.
You told me that was like a degree or two lower than it should have been.
Wow.
Could regulate sleeping on bare metal. The first night I was on concrete floor with a roll of toilet paper for a pillow and nothing else.
I wouldn't have given you a roll of toilet paper. You were lucky you had a roll of toilet paper for a pillow. You know, I think that's cosseting you, to be honest. I think they were too cosseting of you. They should have took everything away from you. Just give you a sheet of toilet paper at a time when you needed to go to the toilet. I wouldn't have given you a whole roll.
Begging for a blanket or a pad to sleep on for like 2 days. I think they were supposed to do something like that. Yeah, she brings a lot of joy. She's a very good girl.
You're a very good girl.
It definitely doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here. She was so happy too.
So happy.
She was looking forward to my visit here. She was looking forward to us all being together. She was just happy. She was just very happy.
Noah.
I loved her like she was my own. I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point, my brain was mush and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. I was having these rolling panic attacks and breaking down crying, and it was the only way I could get to sleep last night. Not feeling her presence here is... Sorry. It's hard.
I can't stand it when he says she's happy. We know these pictures exist. We know what happened. It's not a mystery. It's not like, oh, we're trying to piece it together. We've got images of what was happening to this child for years. She was not happy. She was not happy. She did not love you. She wanted to go live in the woods to get away from you. All right. Let me bring in our special guest. Joining us tonight in Orlando, Florida, retired judge of the 9th Judicial Circuit, the Honorable Belvin Perry, America's judge. Joining us on the phone tonight, WF.
Okay, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. So this is where they're talking about it now. That you don't need a majority for a death penalty verdict. So it's all looking, bad for Stefan. But what I want to really get to more is what is coming out of these papers. Hang on. Let's see. Just fast forward.
Extremely important. What questions do you have that you hope will be answered by the release of this information?
Well, Vinny, what we have, what we've received is...
Sorry, so this interview was done just before the information came out. So he's asking them what would they hope to hear after this information comes out. So I think now might be the time to swap to the other video. Hang on. So this video now that we're going to look at, these were after the documents came out.
On a Sunday. Her mom wasn't there. You know who else wasn't there? The man who's been accused of her murder, Stephen Stearns. He's also been accused of sexually abusing her. And we know this now because we were able to put together a better timeline of where Madeleine was and what was happening after that birthday party and before she was reported missing the following day. So let's get to it. And it's from really 3 different sources. The first source is the story from Stephen Stearns himself. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but this is what he's saying. He told investigators on February 25th, 2024, at approximately 20:45 hours, Stephen arrived at Jen and Madeleine's residence. Okay, so this is on Sunday. When he arrived, Jen was still at...
So when did he say? So he said he arrived at the residence on the Sunday after Madeleine's birthday party. He arrived at approximately 20:45 hours. And when he arrived, Jen was still at work and he directed Madeleine to get ready for bed. So this is what Stefan's saying, of course. Once Jen arrived home, she told Stefan, according to Stefan, that she wanted to sleep in, and Jen, directed them to sleep upstairs in the guest room. The following morning, Stefan and Madeleine woke up at approximately 7:15 hours to get an early start so they could purchase food from McDonald's before school. So it seems to me that what maybe likely happened, because Jen did say, stupid Jen, did say that sometimes she knew that Stefan and Madeleine slept in the same bed. So she wanted to sleep in. She's a selfish cow as well. I mean, I'm not sticking up for her, but I don't think she had anything to do with Madeleine's murder. And she may not have realised that Stefan was abusing Madeleine. I don't know. But she is guilty of being totally stupid and not caring about Madeleine enough to protect her. She is guilty of that. So she's wanted to lie in. So because she's wanted to lie in, she's told them to go and sleep somewhere else so they don't wake her up in the morning because she wants to lie in because she's been working late. And then he said they left the residence between 7:30 and 7:45, headed towards the McDonald's, etc. Let's let Vinny take over again now.
At work, and he directed Madeleine to get ready for bed. So he's home with Madeleine. Mom's not there. Once Jen arrived, she informed Stefan and Madeleine she would like to sleep in and directed them, meaning Stefan and Madeleine, to sleep upstairs in the guest room. The following morning, Stefan and Madeleine woke up at approximately 7 to 7:15 to get an early start so they could purchase food from McDonald's before school. Madeleine and he left the residence between 7:30 and 7:45. Okay, so that's Stefan's story. Now, we also have what Jen advised and told investigators. Jen advised that her sister had dropped Madeleine off at her house at approximately 30 hours, that's 8:30, and she believes Stefan had arrived shortly after that time. Stefan informed Jen that Madeleine had taken her nighttime medication and was getting ready for bed, which consisted of taking a shower. Jen arrived at the house from work at approximately 30 hours and sent Madeleine and Stefan to bed at approximately 2300 hours, 11 o'clock at night. Madeleine, Mom, is sending Madeleine and Stefan to bed together. I asked Jen what time he had woken up on February 26th, to which he stated she believed sometime between 8 and 8:15 because Stefan had gone into the room to put the leash on the dog around 8:15. I asked Jen if she visually observed Madeleine on the morning of February 26, 2024, to which she stated no. This contradicts what we've heard before. No. I asked if she had heard her, and she stated she heard people in.
Yeah, I said that right from the beginning. What she's done is she's been totally zonked out the following morning. She never saw her. I don't know why she said she had seen her, whether that's what he told her to say. But I don't think, she didn't see her because she was already dead by then. But I think Stefan, to me, Jen just seems like somebody it'd be really easy to suggest things to. Anyway, so apparently now it is totally contrary to what she'd said before, that she'd actually seen her. She said what she was wearing. Apparently she was not wearing any, those black shorts that they talked about, or navy shorts. I think she was wearing jeans, bless her. So, that it turns out now. It just shows there's a lot of lies in those original statements.
In the kitchen, but was not sure if it was specifically Jen, if it was her. Jen then stated the last time she had physically seen Madeleine was on February 25th at 11 o'clock when she had sent her to bed. The next day, Jen stated she had gotten out of bed at approximately 9 o'clock and left the residence at around 9:30. Now, we have the information from the detective based upon videos and information that they gathered. In the surveillance footage, I observed a male wearing a red shirt leaving the complex in a 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ, that's the car that Stearns has been driving through the rear gate at 7:50 with a female wearing a green sweater in the front seat. This person appeared to be sitting upright with her head slumped over to her left side. At 8:19,
So that is Madeleine dead then. Now, this is why I'd like to have the document, because he's missed out a massive, he probably doesn't want to go through every little thing. I'd go through it even a page at a time because I know it would take a long, long time to go through this whole document. But I think it's important to go through all of it. I know there were things there that I would have liked to have looked at. Jen supposedly hearing people in the thing is, sometimes you hear what you think you expect to hear. It's hard to explain, but I'd like to see the whole document and read it out complete. But anyway, it seems like at this point, this is poor little Madeleine dead in the front seat of the car, and he's taking it as he's like come up with this master plan to make it look as if he's taking her to school by propping her up.
I observed a male wearing a red shirt enter the complex. At 8:31, the male wearing a red shirt left the complex in the silver Lincoln through the rear gate with a female in the front passenger completely slumped over to the left. So let's break this down. Let me bring in my special guest, true crime live streamer. He's on YouTube, Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates. And
here's Gray. He's got a copy of it as well, I think.
Today, he just released a brand new episode diving into all of these new documents. Make sure you check it out again on YouTube, Gray Hughes Investigates. Gray, great to see you tonight. I have a timeline here based upon some of this information that I just outlined. I want to go through it with you. 8:30 p.m., Madeleine is dropped off at home. 8:45, Stefan arrives at the home. 10:30, Jen arrives at the home. In this little time period right here, this was what was very unclear to me before we got these documents. What are your thoughts about the beginnings of this timeline?
Yeah, I mean, I think originally we all thought that maybe Stefan went to the birthday party, but now it sounds like he just shows up there at 10:45 at the house, and then I guess Jennifer shows up, but he's already directed Madeleine to get ready for bed. And then, as you were saying earlier, Madeleine and Stefan were sent upstairs to go to sleep in room number 4. I guess they have numbers on the door. And then what's incredible is just only like 49 minutes after they were going to go, when they were sent to bed, that's when Stefan Stearns is on Telegram. And we did a show on that a while back.
Let me put this up on the screen, because 11 o'clock, they go to bed, and you said 49 minutes later, Stefan logs on to Telegram. Tell us about Telegram. What is this app? Who's on this app, and what?
Yeah, there's all this controversy, isn't there, about this Telegram thing, because it's sort of quite a dodgy app. Telegram, apparently. Though a lot of people are on it. So was he doing something on Telegram? Was he sending pictures of Madeleine to other weirdos like him? Or, what was he doing on there?
Potentially could be going on this app.
Well, the app's used by a whole bunch of different people. You can upload videos and things like, just for anything. Like, for example, the war in Gaza, they uploaded the videos there, in Israel there. But, just people upload. You can upload videos, but the thing is it's also encrypted, so people can upload things secretly. And apparently this is the new up and coming site where a lot of the pedophiles and deviant sexual individuals out there are uploading videos and sharing. And that makes it, I'm a little concerned about that. What was he doing at 11:49 on Telegram? And we know that Madeleine died sometime after 11 o'clock And when she left in the morning when they left in the morning at like, I think 7:50, his car is seen leaving the complex. And looks like she's already dead actually in the vehicle with her body slumped over. So it was way before that likely.
You know, it's also, and what we've also learned, right, is that in some of these alleged sex abuse, Madeleine appears to be asleep, right? She's given her nighttime medicine.
Yeah.
There's a history of her being abused while she's asleep. And now 49 minutes after being sent to bed by her mom with Stefan.
This just gets worse and worse, this case, doesn't it? Honest to God, this guy, I really don't think he's going to make it through to court, because the first chance anyone gets to get their hands on this guy, because this is like, you couldn't get more evil than what this man has done for years to this girl.
Now, all of a sudden, he's logging on to this. Does Telegram have live applications as well? Do we know?
I don't know if it has live, but this is that site that we were talking about where people, they upload, and then it's the place where they would coerce girls to upload videos, and then after they uploaded the videos, they would use it as blackmail against them to do more and more and more things. And I've actually had maybe a theory, possibly, that Stefan Stearns became, this is just a random theory, okay, but maybe he's a victim of the same sort of, I don't want to call him a victim, he's a monster, but like he also was coerced by blackmail because they figured out who he was, and therefore he created this video that they had him do, or the information was going to come out. But it's probably likely more something that Madeleine, she just turned 13, who knows what she started saying to Stefan Stearns, and maybe at that point he decided he can't allow her to come forward with information about what he's been doing to her over the years, because now she realizes it was bad.
Yeah. And I'm learning in my ear, we have great producers, that there is an ability to live stream on this Telegram, which that's scary.
Yeah, I think that's quite likely, isn't it? That Madeleine, when she was 8, she wouldn't really have known what was going on. There was one part where he was sort of asking her to perform oral sex on him, and he was saying she couldn't use the phone unless she did it for 3 seconds. He's sort of just, revolting. But as she's getting older, she's getting a bit more nuanced, isn't she? Should be knowing that this is not right for somebody to do it. I do feel there might have been just a final moment where poor Madeleine, she just turned around to him and said, no, and he's just lost it. Or he's gone too far with whatever he was doing, or as Gray says, was he being blackmailed? We've got, there's so much to come out still in this.
Great. Now, the following morning, let's go through the following morning. 7 to 7:15, Stearns claims he and Madeleine wake up. 7:30 to 7:45, he claims they leave the house. 7:50 is when he's spotted driving away with Madeleine slumped in the car, again, by these cameras that are near the exits of the complex. 8 to 8:15, Jen claims she's woken up by Stearns with this dog leash and hears people in the kitchen. Well, at 8:19, he re-enters the complex with Madeleine slumped over. So that could be slightly accurate, that by 8:19, 8:20, he's back, and maybe that's when Stearns comes in for the dog leash. 8:31, he leaves the complex with Madeleine still slumped over, and then Jen finally gets out of bed. So looking at these times, when do you believe that this murder could have taken place either at night or potentially early that morning?
Yeah, I think it's going to be sometime after 11 to like 4 or 5 in the morning, in my opinion. But he comes back at 8:19 with her body visible, and then what's interesting, at 8:31 he leaves again. So what was he do? What happened in those 12 minutes? He goes inside the house, and then obviously Madeleine's body is still sitting in the car. Is it still propped up? Does he like bend her over and put a blanket on so he can go in the house for a minute, and then he goes back in? And then at 8:31, the car leaves. And I don't know if you want to go over this part yet, but at 9:40, he makes it to a hotel.
Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
I want to focus on this right now. All right, Gray Hughes is going to stay with us. Stand by. I want to bring in our think tank who's joining us live in studio tonight. And with us, criminal defense attorney, entertainment attorney, and former assistant DA in Atlanta, Daryl Cohen is with us. Also joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney.
What happened when he went inside, we don't know.
And based upon what we're learning now,
when you have a case like this, if you're a defense lawyer, you know, you don't for the death penalty trial of the murder. But yes, overwhelming evidence and his own
of this story everyone's talking about is Madeleine's mom, Jen Soto. And based upon what we're learning now, should she be worried or is she a victim?
Wade Wilson is accused of killing 2 women in 2019.
Her face was
Death penalty.
So there's Madeleine Soto with her mom, Jen. She was a single mom. Dad was in another state, so she's basically raising her, but Stephen Stearns was in the picture. But now, Stephen Stearns, we know the charges against him. He's facing the death penalty. The evidence is strong, but everyone's wondering about mom, Jen Soto. Is there any criminal liability for what she did and for what she didn't do? Here's what we're learning, some more information. Jen was using the past tense while speaking. This is one of the detectives. While speaking, I noted that Jen referred to Madeleine, this is when she's only missing, using the past tense several times when she mentioned her. I inquired about whether or not it was normal to allow Madeleine and Stephen to sleep in the same room unsupervised. Jen replied, this was not common practice. However, she did not have any suspicion that anything inappropriate would occur between the two. Jen used to be very hypervigilant around Stephen. However, as the years have gone by, she's allowed Madeleine and him to be alone because they get along very well. Let's bring back in our think tank, Daryl Cohen, Molly Palmer, Dave Arenberg. It's bad, right? We know it's bad. She is like handing her daughter.
Otherwise, they would already have done so here. I mean, look, the world hates this mother.
I'm just fast forwarding to the actual things from the document. This is why I'd like to have the document and be able to cut out all these other bits. So she was hypervigilant in the beginning, but these assaults were happening from when Madeleine was 8 years old. He hadn't been with Jen very long. Let's have a look.
Double hearsay, I get it. Madeleine's mom told her she was going to kick her out of the house and disown her when she turned 18 or 19. It's always tough in a house, a mom and teenage daughter.
Look, that about her saying that, that's probably, there's probably quite a few parents who've said that to their kids in arguments, you know, like, oh, you know, because kids will say things like, oh, I'm leaving home as soon as I can. And then the parents will say, good, you know, like it's not always mean that you literally are going to throw them out. But look, I feel like I've got to go now because I've got to have some lunch. I've got a few more classes. I'm going to carry on with this in the members tonight. We're going to look more closely at this. And it's a shame. Hopefully I can get hold of the document itself at some time, because then we don't have to watch all the other bits about the people, the team talking and whatever. I just want to really go through the document. But we'll carry on with this tonight in members, and then I will release it afterwards. But remember, tonight is members only live stream. It'll be at 9 o'clock Spanish time, 8 o'clock UK time, and not sure exactly what time anywhere else. But we will definitely carry on with this. And as I say, I would love to go through the whole document, you know, obviously bit by bit in bite-sized chunks. But I've got, at this moment in time, I've got to go. So thank you for being here with me so far. I'll be back later with the rest of it. And did I light I don't think I lit my candle today. Now, remember, I'm lighting the candle not only for Madeleine, but also for the other girl that we were talking about, Maria, who's gone missing, 12-year-old girl. Let's hope that it doesn't have the same conclusion as Madeleine. You know, let's hope Maria is found safe and well. Prayers definitely going out for that. But yeah, don't forget to like, and I will see you really soon, as always, in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. I'm sorry I've got to go. It's just a time thing, I'm afraid. See you later.